I am one of seven, so it was 6 daughters, 1 brother. Unfortunately, my brother is no longer with us. We lost him in 1993. But yeah, we came to Wilmington very young. We're originally from La Paz, Baja California Sur, Mexico, just the southern tip of the peninsula. But I've been in Wilmington since before I turned 2 years old. So to me, Wilmington is my hometown, homegrown. But we grew up in right across the street from St. Peter and Paul Church. That was our playground. It wasn't, back then, it wasn't fenced in. All the kids played. That was our field to play in. And we've all grown up to be, I think, productive members of the Wilmington community. I have 4 sisters that are educators, that are teachers. I'm a very familiar face in Wilmington. A lot of times they call me maestra, which is teacher in Spanish, because I sound or look like my sisters. I don't think I do, but I'm told that I do. What was unique about our parents, I think, was they chose to leave Mexico with the intent of being able to offer their children something better. My father got as far as a 3rd grade education, and my mother as far as a 5th. My mom had never left her little town. It's actually called San Pedro, where our family's from. The town is San Pedro. She had never left. My grandfather died at 110, never having left San Pedro. My grandmother was 99, never having left San Pedro. So it was very unique for my dad to convince my mom to uproot her with 6 children. I was 40 days old. She completed the 40-day, back then you honor that. You saw no light, no nothing after you gave birth. And so it was literally on the 41st day that my dad packed up the family and made his way north. He had been here since he was 16 years old. My dad was from Jalisco, and his father was killed when my dad was 16 years old. And my father was the oldest male in the family. So when my grandfather was killed, my grandmother turned to my dad and said, "You're in charge." And my dad had, it was, I believe, 10 or 11 brothers and sisters. And he was 16 years old, and he was responsible for supporting that family. So he made his way north, made it to the United States, started working here, and work took him down to Baja. It was him and his brothers were working for a company, and it took him to Baja California Sur. He met my mom. He stayed. My uncles returned to Wilmington. And so when my dad uprooted the family after my birth, he brought everybody back to Wilmington, and it was always the intention, it was to get higher education, or an education more than anything for his children. My uncles would really make fun of my dad, because how is it that you have all these women, and why are they still in school beyond junior high? Because mostly you went to work, you went to support the family. But my mom and my dad's mentality was really, we couldn't do more. This country offers so much more. Our job, literally growing up, the rules in our house were that you studied. We didn't do chores. We weren't responsible. We didn't have, in terms of jobs and having to bring in income. Our job, my mom and my dad would remind us, is to get an education. My mom fed us, she washed the clothes, she kept the house ready, and my dad worked his butt off laying brick and cement to make sure that there was a roof over our shoulders, and that we had shoes and clothes, and the rest of the responsibility in terms of education was ours. That's all they expected of us. My oldest sister, Lucia, who is now a harbor commissioner, Lucia chose, because we had wonderful mentors at Banning High School, chose to want to go to college. And they convinced the mentors from Mrs. Helen Monahan, I still remember Mrs. Hart, and Mrs. Lopez from Banning High School, spoke with my parents and convinced them that Lucia was college material. She had gotten accepted to Scripps, and she went. And after Lucia graduated and went to college, my mom and my dad decided everybody needs to go to college. So for a family of 6 women, the rule was nobody gets married until you have a degree. So guess what? We all have degrees. Not all of us are married, but yeah, it was very unique and unusual. But I think they always reminded us the reason we left home, the reason my mom, left La Paz was so that we had a better opportunity. We couldn't let her down. We could not let them down. And so as a result, fortunately, all of us, including my brother, went either to Dominguez Hills, Loyola Marymount, Scripps, we're very fortunate in that regard. We did not let them down.